So today we're going to be doing a review of the Capital One 360 banking service, so stick around. Hello, fellow wealth builders, and welcome back to the TruFinancials channel. My name is Dennis, and on this show, we love to talk about personal finance, investing, and retirement to help build your wealth. So if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing today, and do not forget to hit that little bell icon to get notifications when new videos and live streams go up. All right, so today I'm very excited to be talking about the Capital One 360 banking service. I have talked about them in the past before, but this is going to be a whole video dedicated to just reviewing the actual service. So if you have any questions after watching this video, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to help answer any of those for you here. So before we actually get into the video review, I just want to let you know that this video is by no means sponsored from Capital One. I just wanted to make this video for you. If you find it valuable and that you want to open up an account with them, I do have a referral link in the description box down below at the very top. If you use that link, you do get a $25 bonus for signing up, and then I do get a referral on top of that as well. So I just wanted to have that as a full disclosure for you, but let's go ahead and jump into the actual review today. All right, so as any kind of review, I am going to have some pros and cons for you in this list. Now, I also do have one myth when it comes to most people's perception of online banking, so stick around for that one at the very end of this video. So first and foremost, the most biggest pro is going to be that there are no fees for maintaining your checking and your savings account. And that is a big deal because nowadays a lot of these companies are trying to nickel and dime you every single way possible when it comes to having your checking or your savings account even open with them. So having no fees is such a big plus because that is going to save money for you to be able to build additional wealth, attack debt, and have a great emergency fund. So one of the cons is the amount of time that it takes your money to transfer from one bank to your Capital One. Now, if you do direct deposit, don't worry, that just gets put into your account right away for your checking. But when it comes to transferring from, let's say, like a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America, it will take some time to get that money transferred over. So you have to make that consideration that if you want to transfer some money, that it might take 2 to 3 business days to actually get into that checking account. So one of the best pros when it comes to having a Capital One 360 account is the interest rate. Now, it's not skyrocket high. It's not, the amount that you can have when you're putting in investments and actually earning, big returns. So they have a 1% interest rate on their savings as of this recording. And that's a big deal because especially when you have multiple savings accounts, which we'll get into in just a moment, that is going to be able to have you earn more money for having your money just sitting there, not doing anything else except for waiting to be used in a shorter period of time. Now, if you compare their interest rates from Capital One to other regular banks usually give you an interest rate of 0.01% on your money for their savings accounts versus Capital One right now, like I mentioned, is 1% for their savings accounts. Now, I believe their checking accounts also have like about a 0.2% interest on that, which is pretty awesome if you think about it, because that is money that's kind of usually rotating around, coming in and going out to pay bills, and you actually earn a little bit of money because all their money in the checking and the savings is compounded daily. And that is really cool for you because if you're moving some money in there for your checking and then it takes a few days for it to process on a bill pay, you actually still earn a little bit of money during that time period because you get compounded interest on a daily basis. One of the other cons is if you're moving your money from one other bank institution into a savings account with Capital One, not only is there that 2 to 3 days to actually get that money transferred over, but then they do unfortunately put a hold on that money for you, usually about 7 days. Now, I don't know the actual reason for it, but I like to think it's because they want you to help, actually save that money, seeing as that, you're putting it into a savings account. Maybe you shouldn't be moving that money right away. But the nice thing about that is that the money, once it's fully transferred into the account before you have access to it, will still earn you that great interest rate. So you don't have to worry about missing out on that portion. Side note, you can actually transfer all your money into your checking account and then disperse it through all your savings accounts. So that way you don't have that money sitting there in that 7-day hold. So just a quick tip on that one for you. So another great pro when it comes to Capital One 360 is that you can have multiple accounts. Now, a lot of you that follow me know that I have quite a few different savings accounts when it comes to sinking funds. And that's not everybody's preference, but if you do have that preference of having multiple accounts, Capital One 360 is definitely there for you. You can have up to 25 different accounts. And again, as I mentioned earlier, they don't charge those fees. So you're not going to have to sit there worrying about getting charged so many fees on having that many savings accounts. And so that's going to give you a lot more breathing room, and you can split up all your accounts so you can see where all your money is going, how much it earns in each individual account. So one of the downsides for Capital One 360 being an online bank for some people is that they don't have any physical locations. Now, to some people like myself, that doesn't really matter. I don't really prefer to go into a bank anyways. If I can do all my banking online, I would, and I typically do because that's what I have is the 360 online. But for some people, that can be a deal breaker for them. Now, I do know that in certain places that they do actually have physical locations. I'm assuming that they might try to actually bring out more physical locations all across the country. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's in Texas that they actually have some places that you can actually walk into to do some of that banking. So another great pro is going to be their customer service. I'm going to repeat that because I know that's not a sentence most people hear, especially when it comes to banking. But to me, they have some amazing customer service. I've heard some people talk about emailing them and having some issues with that, but I've always called them for any type of issues that I've ran into. But they've always been very attentive to my issues and have solved every single one of them in a very short amount of time. Now, just calling them in general, I can't remember waiting more than like 4 to 5 minutes on the phone to just talk to a person, let alone the actual issue being solved in a very short period of time. So if you ever have issues, they are very quick to respond to that. So I do commend them on having such great customer service, especially in an industry that is not very known to have that kind of quality. Another great pro is going to be their app, and it's a great app to use if you are on mobile, but they actually recently transitioned their website to kind of match the mobile version of it too, so everything is a little more congruent when it comes to how you utilize their services. So overall, I'm really happy with it. So you can deposit your checks through the online app, and that is very easy to do. I've done it quite a few times, and it's a simple, very easy process. And the last pro tip I have is going to be overdraft fees. Now, again, I know this also sounds very weird, similar to the customer service, but their overdraft fee process is bar none the best in the industry because they actually care about their customers. Now, they have a couple different processes when it comes to overdraft fees. So the first thing that you can do is actually have it auto decline for you. Now, I know to some people, they would rather pay a fee, which I think is weird, so that they don't get embarrassed in front of other people that they don't have the money in their account, but you can actually set it up to have it auto decline for you, which is what I personally have, so that way I don't actually overspend. Another option for you as well too is that they can auto draft from one of your savings accounts. The other two options, one of them is going to be the overdraft line of credit, which means that essentially that you're paying just a small fee to have that amount go drafted over, so you're not going to be paying the full 35 if you have that option chosen. Now, the last option I think is very interesting and very caring for their customers because they understand life happens, where if you don't have any of the other ones set up and you do go over, you actually have one business day to be able to get that money back into the account before they charge you that $35 overdraft fee. Now, to me, that screams customer service because they understand that life happens and that, that $5 cup of coffee that you didn't realize was going to make you go over by, an additional $3 on your banking services shouldn't cost you $35. So as long as you can get that $3 or whatever, back to zero or, in the positive, they don't charge you that fee in that one business day. So I think that's incredible. I think that's a great pro to have when it comes to looking at different types of banks and what they offer for you. So before we get into the myth of actually having an online banking service, check out my video about breaking up with a bank. That is going to actually show you some of the things that you want to do when you're transitioning fully from one bank institution to another. Don't forget, down below there will be that referral link that you can utilize to get that $25 bonus if you decide to open up a checking or savings account with Capital One. And to get to that myth, I believe the biggest myth for a lot of people is not being able to access or deposit cash with an online bank. And the great news is that is not a thing with Capital One. So that myth is busted for them. That is a great thing because you can actually deposit and withdraw cash from over 40,000 ATMs all across the country for free. You don't have to worry about that. That shouldn't really stop you from potentially opening up a banking account if everything else is to your liking, except for, maybe not having that access. So hopefully that kind of breaks down that wall for you and you can choose to, go with an online bank without the worries of, not having cash available for you. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we love to talk a lot about personal finance, investing, and retirement on this show to help build you wealth. So if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing today. So if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like button. And if you have a friend or family member that is interested in opening an account and wants more information, definitely share this video out with them so they can learn a little bit more. And thank you so much, fellow wealth builders, for watching, and have a great day. All right, if you made it to the end of this video and you would like to continue to binge watch, I do have 2 additional videos for you. The top video is going to be the most recent release that I made, and the bottom video is the one that YouTube recommends for you if you'd like to continue watching.